5 and I'm still cold.
I think we're going to be streaming in just a second. It's connecting. We're all set to go.
Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and call to order the January 8th, 2025 Happy New Year Akron Public Art Commission meeting, first meeting of the year. Welcome. I'm going to go ahead and do a roll call of all of the commissioners first. Um, so I'm just going to say your name. You could just say here or present or whatever you want to say, to be honest. Larissa,
Here.
John,
Present.
Eric is not present. Stephanie,
Present.
Jessica,
Here.
Megan.
Here. And then also Roberta said she's coming. She'll be
Okay,
here.
Roberta's coming.
Yep.
Okay, so we definitely have quorum, which is great. We did not at the last meeting. By the end of the meeting, it was very sparse. So because of that, we never actually adjourned the last meeting. So if somebody could quickly motion to adjourn the December 11th, 2024 commission meeting.
I motion to adjourn.
So John, if you may motions to adjourn the December 11th, 2024 commission meeting. Can we get a second?
I second it.
Larissa Brown seconds the motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right. On that note, we have meeting minutes for December 11th. I don't believe I have any. I don't know that Haley prepared them, and I think we were just supposed to have a conversation about it now. So I have on the agenda to approve the minutes, but I don't have minutes from December. So I'm probably just going to skip that for now. Talk about it next, actually. So we don't have anyone presenting today. So the idea is to kind of go over the work plan. That is like not anything official. I put that together by myself. So there's no like, it's open to be discussed completely by everybody, if that makes sense. I put something together kind of in line with what Kat had done before for prior work plans and the documentation that I had and things that I thought that we could fit in for like a reasonable budget we could ask from the city. At the end of that, there's also a write-up specifically about why we're asking for funding from the general fund as opposed to like relying on some sort of funding for the percent for our TIF, if you're not familiar with that. So that's something important to get through in this meeting. There's two other things that we need to look at first. The first thing's going to be either payment for meeting minutes or how we're going to approach taking meeting minutes moving forward. I know John and Summer have opinions on this. I don't have an opinion. I don't care. So, I don't want to take them either. So that's my opinion. So,
Summer, remind me, what is there? Let me make sure I get my words correct. Because right now I could, or I think in Zoom could take the minutes. Then one of us, whoever that might be, could review them, touch them up, correct them, modify, all that good stuff. Is that permissible?
I didn't ask about Zoom taking the minutes,
Yeah, like there's a Zoom feature.
but I knew we were talking about doing like YouTube. I'm sorry, greetings everyone. Happy New Year's to everybody. Hi. You didn't do a roll call for me. No. But I did not ask about Zoom taking the minutes. So if there's application or something that you know of, please let
Yeah,
me
I
know.
think
I thought it was like YouTube taking minutes and you were able to script that into the
no, there's a couple different
yeah,
ways.
okay.
I can explore more and report back. My uh assistant is out this afternoon, but I can report back. But yeah, like when you're in a meeting in a Zoom or what have you, the Zoom can take the minutes and it's using artificial intelligence to do that. But then I can then go into the minutes and I can correct them, format them or what have you. Or anybody could, I guess. And that's how I'm just wondering, is that legal?
Well, the city won't allow because we're on the city Zoom account. They won't allow me to do any type of AI on their
And I want
account.
to make sure we get clarification specifically because there's all these different ways of using AI.
Okay.
And because where I'm having a little bit of a hiccup understanding, and you can even point me to somebody to call somewhere and I can handle that conversation. But is that like this meeting is being recorded right now and we upload these to Zoom, right? So all we're doing is in essence another form of recording, and we're not using AI to do any strategic thinking or conversations for us or anything of that sort. We're using it to basically, like I could actually pull up on my screen right now
Closed caption, right?
and dictate. I could have a Word document open right now and I could hit the dictate button and it would completely dictate this entire meeting
Okay.
for us.
Now, what I can do is like, since this is recorded, I can send the recordings to you,
So
and
I
then
feel
you
like
have
it
the
would
recording, and
be
then you can do
yeah,
whatever.
but I don't want to, nobody wants to sit there and, are you talking about an audio recording or is it a printed recording?
Audio.
Yeah.
Okay, let me put a ticket in the IT and ask them. Um,
Because
if it's
in
a
that sense,
caption here,
we're
I
not
would
taking
assume.
advantage of efficient tools versus we're not asking AI to create something for us. AI is just listening and dictating it for us.
We should also clarify that we're going to review the output of whatever's produced.
Correct.
And it's human reviewed. So if it's human reviewed and it's
That's
correct,
exactly it.
it might as well be human produced. So
Well,
at
even our
almost
board
every AI
minutes,
policy is about that, other than we're not putting any sort of proprietary data from the city or anything into it. So I don't see how it should fall under any sort of AI policy that I've seen. But I think if we were reviewing it, John could go in and change every other word if he wanted to, and you wouldn't even be able to know that an AI wrote it because an AI detector wouldn't be able to throw it off. So I don't know that it's that harmful or like an improper use personally.
Yeah, just with the city, we've already had a breach before.
no, I
We
get, I
It's
get
not
communicated
it.
all of that
Yeah.
from an
stuff.
IT
So
perspective, it's not possible for there to be any kind of breach from using an LLM, or from using transcripts from Zoom. It's just not possible. I don't think it's safe. I would be surprised if they said we're not allowed to do it, to be honest. I'll
yeah,
give my expert testimony.
I was told no AI whatsoever with the city of Akron. Like we can't even use it, like download it onto our computers to do anything.
Sure.
So they said totally no.
Is that
Um,
including closed caption? Because if we go to YouTube, watch this after the meeting, YouTube will make a closed caption for us, won't it? Does that include it in AI for people that for hearing
Yeah,
impaired
I
people?
think
I
that
think
well, yeah,
YouTube.
hearing impaired, they'll be able to read it, but who's going to take that document? Who's going to make it a document? I mean, we're talking so to be the closed caption based off of
I
a
think the idea
conversation
would be
now.
that the AI summarizes it, but then John reviews it against like the meeting. And so it's human reviewed. And then if it's human reviewed, there's no harm for it being AI. And then it's all public data anyways that we could pull from YouTube from transcripts if we wanted to. So there's nothing being given to some sort of service or anything, or the companies that have the models that would like breach any data that's not public. This is all
Did
public.
you want to try it with December for this meeting here?
Megan has a comment.
Question, really. Summer, is there anyone watching us on the YouTube right now that you know of, or is there anyone in from
Yeah.
like Signal or anything?
It doesn't tell me who's watching, but I do know Signal Akron is always on this call.
Right.
So,
So I wonder if we can like two birds, one stone, and we could like ask if their documenters can help us with that. I mean, like
so
I don't know if like, because it's a journalism nonprofit versus like a government entity, so I don't know if that's like illegal or not allowed, but they're already doing it. So
so I thought I
maybe they
sent
can
you
help.
guys an email maybe last week or the week before. Because I did see the Signal Akron did take minutes. So, and it's public documentation. So I'll have to see where it is that
Well,
I sent.
the other way around all of this too, Summer, is like you mentioned about sending me over the audio recording from YouTube. In essence, we could use it. Once you send that over to me, we could use
Yeah,
any tool to dictate that.
that's what I was asking. Once I send it over to
But
you,
I want to
you'll
be
be able
fully
to.
transparent with the city to say, hey, these are, you know, it's the same thing. All I'm trying to do is make sure we're being efficient and nobody, because it's impossible to be, it's really difficult to sit and take notes and be, um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
agree with
mind
John. I think
boggling.
it's 100% valid use case and it's safe and it's public data. I don't see a reason not to do it,
and
honestly.
minutes
But
don't have to
the
be
flip
from
side of
a
it,
whole
though,
meeting.
and maybe this goes back to your point, Summer, paying somebody and all of that is, in essence, the 10 plus years I was the health commissioner at the city of Akron for everything before moving over to the county. I mean, the health department had a secretary that would come to the meeting and take all the minutes, right? So I don't know what that looks like. So from my point here, you know, do you hire somebody part-time or just for our meetings to take these minutes? I don't know if there's other commissions within the city that could use the same. I don't know if other commissions are in the same boat. I know you said some of the other commission members just take the minutes. Um, and quite frankly, when you have somebody who's supposed to be active, like you risk taking good minutes. You know,
Right, right. Like same for
so
me. So it's hard for me to even try to do it because I'm involved in the
yeah, and
meeting.
you're helping to guide the conversation and all of that.
Right. So
Fully
that's
understand,
impossible for me
fully
to do.
agree. So, and I
Um,
don't want to like belabor this, but
yeah,
it is just doesn't seem from a city administrative standpoint that we're not looking for efficiencies and um as we should be.
All
So
right. I'm gonna say we can maybe like knowing we don't have like necessarily December 11th minutes for now, we can table it for now and have like an official, like we can all decide afterwards when we understand what we are able to do. Or we can write a process around it. John, something I'll do is when you determine a process for how you want to record the minutes, I can see if there's a way for me to make it easier, faster, and I can write down like a process for it for the commission or something. So I'll help however needed.
I wouldn't do that yet.
Okay.
Actually, Andy, what I would just do, December, send me over the audio recording and I'll get something
Okay.
handled. Summer, so that we take care of immediate business. And then Summer, get clarification from IT or legal specifically on how, how we can use, eh, you know, dictating tools maybe instead of artificial intelligence. I don't know what you want to call it. And let's make sure we just have a clear understanding of what tools we can use at our disposal. On my Zoom right now, I'm on your Zoom, so I'm not seeing anything, but I'll explore with my team here.
I
Um,
mean, officially,
what
I don't work for the city too, so I can just go use the AI and then submit it as the meeting minutes. So the city,
that's what I'm
to
gonna
be
do.
fair,
Yeah.
yeah. So
So,
it's I don't know the difference either, but
well, you're kind of a contract employee though, by the way, just so you know. Um,
I'll forego the I'll forego whatever money they send. So
anyhow, but
we're going to keep it
let's get
correct
clear.
and in order. We're going to
Let's
do
get
things the right
clarification.
way.
Yeah, let's get clarification. Send me over the recording. I'll have it ready for the next meeting. And then we'll go from there. And I might even have another idea by then after talking to my team. But
Okay.
we have to be efficient here.
Yes. Yes.
And it's not like we're getting, yeah. Okay. All right. Is
okay,
that good for the moment?
yeah, for sure. Thanks, John Summer.
No vote needs to happen. We're good. Okay, thanks.
All
So
right,
I
next
do
thing that we need to go over. Oh, yep.
one question since we're talking about the recordings. We won't say the name, the person's name, but they had did the recordings for September, October, November. So we didn't have a chance due to quorum to kind of talk about, can we take that $90 out of the commission or no? And if not, then I'll figure it out to pay that person for doing the minutes.
So we committed to paying them, right? In some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I think we did.
I did.
I'd be
And
okay
I
with
had
that. If
asked the
someone wants the
question.
motion to approve.
Yeah, just
to
pay them. Get them paid.
John, do you
out
want to
of-
motion that?
Whatever's the easiest way for you, Summer.
Okay. So are you guys okay with taking it out of the commission money?
I'm
And
okay
if
with
so,
that.
you'll have to vote on that. If
Yeah.
not, then
I mean, I think we still have to vote on it, but
you do.
Yeah, so someone just wants to motion to pay $90, right, Summer?
Yes.
To the one who recorded the meeting minutes for those 3 months.
I so move, Roberta.
So
that we
Roberta
pay
Rogers
for the last 3 months.
Okay. Motions to pay the one who recorded those 3 months the $90. We get a second.
Second.
So Megan DeLong and Larissa both seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, that's quorum. All right,
Aye.
Summer. So we're good to go on that. One other thing, Summer or Elise and Mac, we all met with the city GIS team, and they wanted to be able to get this project wrapped up soon. But they need to be able to provide training and help ourselves be able to pick out the featured pieces that are going to be in the story map for the public art inventory. And so Elise actually sent out Calendly, and everyone was meant to like schedule on that, but not everyone was present at the last meeting. And I'm not sure who all reviewed the last meeting. And I'm just curious if everyone got that email. We all need to sign up for a time slot and like have Elise like provide the training, and they're going to record it. So if you can't make it, that's fine. We just need a response. So if you can't make it, say that you can't make it and send a response back so we can get a time schedule that works best for everybody for them to provide the training.
So I responded.
Okay, cool. So I know John responded, Megan, Larissa, Jessica, Roberta, Stephanie, do you guys have any questions on it? Did you get the email? Because we can forward that to you and I can have Elise send it back out. If you guys need that email again.
Yes, can you forward it to me again, Roberta? Thank you.
Okay. I'll go ahead and I'll actually reach out to Elise and have her send it back out, knowing now that we were able to like communicate with everyone since everyone's here this time. So
we have it. There's no need to reach out to them again. I'll look for it and just forward it back to everyone.
the email. Yeah, I know she has the
She sent an
Calendly though, so I
email
don't
with the
know what
link.
was open, but I know what you're talking about. Okay. You can forward that. Okay, that would make sense. She'll get that too from the service when we all sign up on it. So, and then if you can't make it, also let me know so I can let them know who's not going to be able to attend the training, so they're not waiting for a response. And on that same note, I don't know if this will happen during the training or after, but Mac and Elise presented like an initial set of pieces in the public art inventory that they wanted us to be able to like choose from. And so at some point, and it's probably not going to be this meeting, and I actually put it, I think, for either next month or the month after in the work plan, we need to go through and probably outside of the commission meeting, before it or after it, select the pieces that we want to be displayed on the public story map, or what we want displayed on the art inventory. That's all for that. Does anyone have any like
What do you mean about
Yeah.
the public story map? Maybe that's the piece I missed.
Yeah, the story map's like it's like an interactive web page,
Hmm.
and there's a map on it, and they can click on it, and it brings an image of the photo up. We get to select the default image there. We want to select like maybe 1 to 200 pieces so that it's not crowded with a bunch of points, since there's over 700 and a lot aren't applicable. So they want us to curate those. So that sort of
Wow.
curation falls on us. That's a lot, but they pre-selected and pre-curated a set amount of pieces. So I think what we need to do is a quick audit to see if those make sense.
Okay.
Can I, real quick, we met with our GIS team here at the city of Akron and discussed how to do the story map with the GIS with the city of Akron and connect that to the Public Arts Commission's website. So like Andy was saying, and also kind of what we, started talking about years ago, John and Larissa, about making this an interactive where someone from out of town could say, hey, I want to see John Pumi's work, type his name, click on it, find a location, and then a description of the artwork. So I'm working with our GIS team because we have to find manpower. We have to, see the cost of how much if we have to get any additional licensing. So I'm working with our GIS team. So hopefully I'll have something to report back to you all February, if not March. We have to, we don't have a whole lot of people that specialize in the GIS, and then we have to find out who can have ownership of it. I do know that Mac Love has done things with our GIS system with the city of Akron. So he is very knowledgeable on how to upload the photos, how to link it to the city and the web pages. So I'll come back to you guys later on with more information.
I also I developed GIS applications and managed GIS programs in previous roles. So I'll be here for at least another year and a half, I think, on my commission term. So I'll work to
terms. So I think you have 3, and then you could do another term.
Okay,
So
yeah.
you could
I mean,
technically have 5.
I want to help build a system that's like maintainable by commissioners and readable by commissioners. So as much effort as I have to do that, I will. And I'm not necessarily committing to this yet because I have to figure out the logistics of it, but I wanted to get the University of Akron involved and see if we could kind of have a student work with the GIS team to do the labor. Because I would be interested in funding like a scholarship or a summer project for a student to do something like that. So,
and that's fine. I just have to get with the GIS team, which I'm meeting with them, I think next week or the week after.
Yeah, I think they mentioned keeping it on ArcGIS Online too, right? So it's just a matter of how much it costs and this and that, or
yeah, I just got to find out all the logistics on everything, and then I can report back to you guys, because we want this to sustain. I'm sorry, Megan. We want it to be, to sustain forever, right? And not just a check box where we did it and it's whatever. Akron will be the first city, I think, with the United States to have a comprehensive plan, the GIS connection with the public art website and the inventory all linked in one that's actually running. We researched about 6 to 8 different cities, and they each have something, but they don't have everything together like we would be doing. So Akron would be on the map to start this, and we can actually be, the ones that maybe help other cities down the line. So go ahead.
Yeah, Andy, I think it's so funny that you brought up the University of Akron, because I had an email out to Summer yesterday, I think, talking about possible interns for the commission. And I think the GIS project would be really great, especially because there are folks in majors that have to learn GIS. So I think we can talk about that more, and I think that would be a really good fit. So
yeah, someone like from the GIS or surveying program, or someone who like has to do it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or even like I was even thinking, depending on the type of project we're working on, like if we're creating or designing a form or an input form or an app for users to submit things where it filters somewhere for us to like review. That could be something a business student throws like a very simple web app together for that we could put on our website that we already have, where there's almost no additional cost or something. So things like that would be useful. So it'd be a matter of talking to IT about what's possible, and then hopefully connecting those students with the city, with us being involved or not. So I'll reach out to you on all the stuff I'm doing with that, since you're also around the university, with the Excel Center and everything. Anyone else who wants to be involved, feel free to reach out to me on that.
And that could be potential employment down the line, just to throw that little snippet out.
Yeah.
So
On that note, we just need to get the training and stuff scheduled. It's probably going to stay in ArcGIS Online, and so the training that Elise will give us a little bit more context on what exists, how the system's there, how we can take a look at it or use it, what they currently have in place. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to review the draft work plan. This is just a draft, like I said before the meeting started. It's just I threw this together. There's no necessarily there should be no specific pull just because I threw it together. You all should provide comments on the work that you want to see us do throughout the year, what you think about what I put together. I did put things together based off of the priorities that were prior listed by the Art Commission, such as getting art into public infrastructure in order to increase visibility. That we could easily reuse documents and work that we've already done to put out a new RFP, or reuse the same contractor that we currently have to do more traffic box wraps, which in my opinion would be a very good way to promote putting art onto public infrastructure and increasing visibility, which is one of our goals. I also would be very interested in starting to draft, maybe for the year after, an artist in residence program or something similar where we can pay an artist to do some murals around the city. I think it would be a very nice, interesting thing to put in place, but I think it will take time over the year to talk about how we're going to actually structure that program. And so I think we'll need to draft out the program and what we want to put together for that. So I don't think we should request funds for doing an artist in residence program this year because we have nothing specified on how we would approach doing the program. And so I don't think it's something we should necessarily do this year, but it would be a goal of mine, if everyone else is interested, to start drafting something for 2026. Something I think we could do this year, something John mentioned earlier, which is starting to just do murals in individual communities. And so I put a portion in the requested or proposed budget for completing murals around the city of Akron. And now that we have the public art inventory and we have access to it from Mac and Elise, we can officially go in and find areas if we want to, where we want to add murals. So I'm thinking that now that we have the public art inventory, if we can get funds to actually start investing in public art in areas that need more, attention, or we want to make, we want to make public art more equitable across the city of Akron, we have tools now in order to do that. And we are waiting for the public art inventory to be finished to work on those things. So that was another idea. I also thought with the bicentennial, it would be really fun if someone wanted to help planning an event related to the bicentennial, related to art history. We could put a press release out and we could actually hold an event with the art commission so we can actually go out and meet the public because we don't necessarily have too much press right now other than the infrastructure. And so it'd be nice to have funds and an event put together for us to go out and like speak to the community. Maybe it could be selected invitations to the whole community, but I put funds in there for that. And then I think the last thing I put in was maintenance. And the maintenance, according to all the original plans and stuff made by Kat and the original commission members, said that no more than 10% of the budget would go to maintenance. We do have very, very detailed maintenance records now and actual things that need fixed according to Mac and Elise. And so if we could have a portion of that operating budget, a little bit less than 10%, I think what was in there, go towards maintenance. There are specific things that were identified in the public art inventory that need maintained already right now. And so some of those funds could go towards maintenance projects and we could leverage the art inventory to see what we need to do to fix those things and work with the proper city departments with summer. So that's what I put together. That's what's in the work plan. And some of those things that are in the work plan on the schedule are contingencies, meaning they depend on having funding to do them. And so I'm curious what everyone else thinks and what Summer thinks is feasible as well. But I put this together and sent it to everybody. So.
So isn't the budget, Summer, isn't the budget already solidified by the city? Or it's still being like?
I don't think the capital investment budget, I don't think it was approved yesterday. Or it could have been. I didn't have an opportunity to watch the
Yeah.
But that's the capital investment budget. We also have operations budget that will come up next.
So what's the timing? What's the deadline on the operations budget and what is the
that I am not privy to because I don't do budgets and things like that. But I would say the sooner the better. If we can get some like $1 specific amount so that I
so
can
the
go back
80,000 that Andy put into this is for that budget, right?
the requested general fund,
Yeah,
80,000.
that would.
I can go back
Yep.
and if you want to kind of, you guys all want to like kind of take some time to really dive into this. And, if you have any questions, let's get an email thread. That way we can perfect this. This looks really good, Andy. But just
Yeah, and I did walk
other
through.
once I just get other commissioners have questions, we need everyone's input. If it looks good, just send an email and say it looks good.
One of the concerns though is in 2020, the $100,000 that was given. Do we have a contract? Is there any documentation attached to that 100,000? I know I can get it. I know Nicole Mullet might probably know, but I thought
no,
that was specific.
that was directly given to the city on behalf of like James Hardy dealt with that. So I don't think we just all knew that it was $100,000. Then we found out who it was from. There was no contract on that money to how, like, when it had to be spent.
And I think we need to confirm that.
Okay, I'll see. I don't even think there was a contract, but I'll look.
Or an agreement.
I'll look through our
something.
law.
And I'll check with
see.
Nicole as well,
Mhm.
on that, because I just want to make sure that we're not screwing something up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
also
he's
for
been
the
asking for, like, what have we done with the money? Now I can say what we've done with the money. But for these past couple years, I've been just letting his contact know what we were planning on doing with the money. Now we actually have documents to say what we have done with the money.
Yeah, in summer and also a comment to everyone else, what I presented, like in the proposed budget, I can send this in an Excel format if you want, but this is just a copy of the Excel spreadsheet. You could send this to your accounting department and they would be able to read and understand this. So this basically just breaks down all the things that I thought could go into the work plan down into like several buckets. So I know that we had a discussion last year as well about the budget. And I put together and it was more words. So I tried to do no words this time. But I also tried to grab just a few of the things that we had talked about from last time and put it into here. So there's not too much. And I think it'd be good to keep it simple for them to know that we're going to do like a few things. I don't want to like create like a list of 100 tasks. And we also have to realize in these meetings, we don't get that much done in every individual meeting. So we might draft something and it might take 2 or 3 months down the road for something to get approved, for there to be a press release, and then there's other things involved with this. So I just want to make sure that if we're selecting projects or we're like proposing additional things to put on the work plan or changing things, that is something that we think is feasible for us to be able to do within the year so we can keep getting things done. Because the more things we get done and the more progress we can show and the impact of it and how it ties to like the 15-year plan and the city's priorities and things like that, the more justification we have while we're asking for funds from the city, I think. So that's my opinion on it.
Andy, I would say page 3 for the operating balance. Never mind.
Yeah, there's a page after that, the proposed budget. The operating balance was just like historically like what there was. The page
Yeah, never
after
mind.
that,
You
yeah,
gave years, so never mind. I didn't see that
yeah.
part. I was looking at
Okay.
something. Okay.
I don't know if it's important while we're requesting funds either, because I know like everyone I've talked to in the mayoral administration was not aware that we basically have no money from the TIF. And then we had that meeting with David Messner. He essentially said that we're just not going to really get money from the TIF over the 15-year period, basically, like nothing significant. I remember him showing us that little Excel graph, there being almost nothing there when we looked at it. So I don't know if we could I couldn't find that figure because I think he shared it over video. So I couldn't find it, but I did find the email and his message. And I'm pretty sure that people in the administration aren't aware that we're essentially getting nothing from the TIF. So
I don't want to say that they're not aware. Administration is aware.
okay.
So whenever this was put together back in 2018, when people started talking about the cultural plan, this is what they stated for us to get 1% of the TIF, not realizing that we would not have projects between
To even do it, yeah. During the period
so
they
right
said it,
now,
right?
because we don't have those type of projects right now, that's why we don't have the funds. But I think when they put this plan forward, everyone was thinking we would have a lot of different development plans coming through. No one knew that the pandemic was going to happen.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and
And
so
that's
the,
really
the
what shut things
CIP,
down.
there's
So,
nothing in there, right?
right.
So
So we don't want to say the administration doesn't know. The
I wasn't
administration
aware.
knows.
I was only saying that based off of talking with I had talked to like I think I talked to like Nanette Pitt at some point a long time ago, and I was talking to Susie Graham, and she also didn't know about the TIF when we were on the meeting the other day. So I don't know who knows or doesn't. I know you're a part of the administration too, so you know obviously, so somebody knows. But
Yeah. And I had a conversation with like our chief of staff and everyone else to
okay,
kind of look
cool.
into this and try to find other ways. So on my end here, I'm always trying to find ways to get money. So I'm always working hard. If I hear about anything or any extra money, I'm like, can I have it? So I am always every day trying to find money for the Public Arts Commission because I now know, in 2020, I did not know that we would not have money in 2024 from
Right.
the TIP. So now that we know, there could be things coming down the pipeline soon. And we could project it could be projected to have maybe some money in 2027, 28, 29. But also, if people want to donate money, to the Public Arts Commission,
Right.
we will accept donations too.
I think that the grants and the donations and stuff are great too. Something that I think was like an original goal and something that we were trying to prove through the TIF was that we could have a city funded public art program where there was guaranteed to like be funding to like go into the art. And so while I think we could get stuff from public donations and grants, that would be great. And those things would directly be able to filter into maybe programming stuff the commission's doing. I think it would be great to have some like set aside like part of the budget or offset in order to like still deliver on the priority that was set on the cultural plan if the city's willing to do it. So that's my thought on it. But
also with grants, I am looking for some grants. What I'll do is once I find a grant, I'll send out information about it, but I need you all to be able to take some time out to review and maybe think of some projects. I can throw some projects out because, I drive around the city and I see where art lacks. But if we want to do some projects, maybe think of projects that, you all will have in mind. And then when there's an opportunity for a grant, we can get that written versus saying, hey, here's a grant. What do you want to do? We should, you propose some of these things monthly, but if there's projects that we would like to do, and if I can find grants, then let me know. And then when we find the grants, we can apply for them. I'm also looking for additional money to do more traffic signal boxes. So that's something that I'm always looking for is funding.
okay. I will say also on the work plan, if assuming we don't get any additional funding, and we just have what we have, I was looking at putting together a maintenance plan. That was the other thing in there that wouldn't require funding that we could put together to make sure that we're making progress this year. So we have the public art inventory, we have maintenance data, and so we can start to create a plan of which things we want to maintain in which order, how we want to be able to approach that and use the data in the system in order to decide what we're maintaining.
Yeah, I really think we just spent all those dollars doing this inventory.
Mhm.
So I think it's really good that we clean up the inventory. And
Yeah.
I'd rather, I mean, part of this whole process is potentially removing some of the public art that's in disrepair or what have you.
Mhm.
And just that process alone can actually be
A lot. Yeah.
beautifying. I do support doing another round of the traffic boxes because I think it's a nice, easy win. I would caution in regards to capacity, how much we can accomplish in a year, as well as
for
the
sure.
financial, that if it's really worth tackling a mural project. And I would also not call this an artist in residence program because those are typically academic terms or something of that sort, or, and so we're not equipped to provide education or anything of that sort. We can say, hey, we've got an opportunity, just like we did the same process we did with the traffic boxes.
Mhm.
And but I think I think we should spend some time on ranking the inventory. Like we invest all these dollars, let's use the information that we have, deciding what can be removed, what needs to be cleaned up. To Summer's point, I love, if looking for grants and things of that sort. And then I think that's enough. The bicentennial thing, I understand that. I think that's great. I would get with Mark Greer to find, he's got so much on the docket for this year, and he has plans to continue it into next year, that I would look for, let's have a clear understanding of what he's doing, and maybe we can
Mhm.
attach ourselves to something like that. And as much as I do think we had talked well over a year ago
Mhm.
about branding the commission and getting the commission out there and making sure the public knows, I'm going to tell you, I feel strongly that 90% of the public really doesn't care. And we're excited about it because we're passionate about it. We like the kind of work, but in general, they like to see the art. They're going to like to see the traffic boxes, things of that sort. But as far as them knowing who's your commissioners and all this kind of stuff, most of them, they're just not going to care. Now, I think it'd be beneficial if we did show up as a group to a bicentennial event or something and have an opportunity, or like what you just did with Leadership Akron. I think that's great. But in general, I think there's just, yeah, there's just a reality to it. That's just
I definitely agree with you on that. And I would also say, I think that I wouldn't see it as more of like a engagement opportunity for like the individual commissioners, but we could present like the art inventory. Like we could pull it up like on a computer screen and like show people what's there already, or like help demo it to people in the city of Akron so they're just more aware of the resources and application processes and stuff that exists. But I
Well,
agree with you on the
I think that's the
feasibility stuff
power of
too.
of
Yeah,
once we
for
get
sure.
trained and all that kind of stuff. I think it's the power of what we put on the website. And then from there,
For sure.
what are the social media branding slash marketing opportunities?
Mhm.
But then that's going to put up another bucket of expense because somebody's got to do that. Somebody's got to own that. And I know right now that, I mean, I don't think the communications department at the city is going to take that on. Maybe Shamus will. He loves to post. So
He does. He posts everything. He'll probably post if there's like a press release or something about it, he'll probably post it. I think he's posted everything related to the commission on Facebook. I've seen almost everything in there. So
That's just the way of keeping the public informed and engaged.
I think too, it's little things like, even if he posts and take out, like we said, we have the inventory nice and have everything there. He don't have to do a whole lot of research. He can put one of those pictures up, or put a piece of art up and just have some information about it. And if you want more information about it, he can point them to, or whatever we do, we could always point them to inventory. But I think that's one of the biggest things, even if little places like the travel agencies or the travel commissions, for them to start seeing where different things are in Akron. Because some of those things, little pieces of art is huge. I mean, like, although we don't have like the frog in front of the library, even when I mentioned that to my students, and I was like, tell me a piece of art that you know in Akron, they can bring up little things of that nature. They was like, oh, well, Miss Brown, they have this here, and we're just in. I'm in East, it's just the East cluster. My kids, they couldn't come up with a whole lot. But then when I asked other kids, because I stay on the West Side, they can give me more pieces of art because they see it. They can see the drawn pieces and different things of that nature. And it's nice that the kids can actually say certain one of the local artists because they can see it. So little things of that nature. So I think too, it's educating. Like I'm 100% with John. They don't care who the commissioners are. They want to see the work
I
in
agree
the
with that
arts. And I think that will speak for who we are as an organization.
for sure. In terms of the work plan and stuff, besides John's comments, Roberta, Megan, Jessica, Stephanie, you guys have any comments on like the feasibility of getting things done, what you would like to try to see done? Should we be able to have funds?
I guess I had a question maybe for everybody. So you have on, I can't remember what month, I was literally just looking at it, July, that we would hold a public event.
Yeah, I was thinking like the bicentennial thing with that. And so whether that's like we go into an existing bicentennial event, like John mentioned, or if we jump in on something and we're just there to like demo our application process, what we do, the public art inventory, if it's up, like whatever we're able to do to help educate the public there, on whether we're jumping in on something or holding something. That's what I was thinking for that piece.
Okay.
There's not like a specific event. It was just throwing it out.
No worries, because that was just something, like if we had money to spend for something, what would we even do?
Mhm.
And I don't know if we're, as a commission, like with our time and things and trying to get all the other things that you have on the plan done and what John has talked about, I don't know if we would have like the best case of getting as many people involved as I think we would want to. So that's
Sure.
just me rambling, but thanks.
Oh, and this is Roberta, and I just think we should continue to try and get more grants or funding so that we can improve the budget and be able to reach more areas in the city of Akron.
Mm-hmm. Leo, do you have anything?
Nothing that I can add at this time, no.
Okay. Jessica. No? All right. I like John's idea about kind of like his assessment of the feasibility I agree with. And I was saying that earlier, like some of this is kind of audacious, you know, in terms of like being able to get it done considering the timeline and how long the turnaround is. I think traffic box project, if we got funding, if we got grants or if we got funding from the, you know, funds from the city, would be easier because we have things already written. And then the maintenance plan, like John was saying, even just removing things, beautifying things, if we can pull that data from the inventory quickly, like a quick listing of things and go through, create some sort of like maintenance strategy or plan for the year and just start reaching out to the different departments, I'm sure that would also be like a lot of work and potentially make a big impact too, as John was saying. So I think maybe we could agree to look into doing either a maintenance plan or strategy. Talk about maybe John talked about reaching out to Mark Greer about maybe getting involved with one or more of the bicentennial events, just to have one or two people go out or whoever to like talk about the commission. Um, and then thinking about funding opportunities for the future as well. So if everyone is able to provide specific feedback on this work plan, I think that there's kind of like some ideas here in areas where we could allocate the funding if we have additional funding. And then we could start thinking about what we want to do in the future, like in 2026 and later too, and maybe start planning for that and try to actually get ahead of some of this so that we can be more strategic about the funding we're approaching and what we're trying to look for and be able to put more time into it. So I guess we'll just ask everyone to provide comments on it after this meeting.
So Andy, I kind of gave you my comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Can
cool.
we put a deadline on receiving the comments? I would say by end of day on the 17th.
What I would like to do is I have a Word doc in this in our Google Drive, and I would like to refer everyone to it. And John, I can add your comments in on that if you want, because I agree with a lot of your comments, anyways. So I can go in and add those, but we need a non-draft version of the work plan to approve. And then we can put contingencies and stuff on there and do them or not do them. We can leave it open. We're not going to like say this is all we're doing, but then at least we have a work plan that we can refer back to and assess at the end of the year where we're at relative to it. So, yeah, if that's cool with everyone.
So can we put the deadline to be the 17th? And then that'll give you
the next meeting.
No, I'm saying a deadline for comments.
Oh, for comments?
January 17th.
Okay.
And then that will give you time to update the work plan and then send it out for a second review. And then you all can vote on it in February.
Yeah. If you guys could all do it by the 17th or even just this weekend, if you have time, if it's fresh in your memory, it would be great.
I know you probably mean more comments like about, you know, what we plan to be doing, but sure. I wonder if we would benefit from like talking to like Akron Soul Train or like the other organizations in Akron that already have like an Akron or an artist in residency program. Like I know John said like that might not be what we call ours. But I don't know the ins and outs of those kinds of things. Like, obviously, I know about them when they do them through these organizations, but I would want more information before I would say, like, yes, we should totally do this in 2026.
Yeah, I agree with you. And actually, when I was putting this together, I wasn't imagining that we would necessarily come up with all the criteria, but that we would work with probably like a third-party contractor for the criteria, which is why I put in a bulk lump sum. Because I think it would make a lot more sense as the commission to kind of oversee the curation artist selection part or like work on the city or use the public art inventory and then work with a third party to like implement like some sort of artist in residence programming, someone who has experience with it. And so if we have a bulk lump sum of money, that doesn't necessarily all need to go to the artist. It would just be the amount of money that we're going to allocate towards maybe paying a third-party contractor, which could be one of these other organizations or a nonprofit, to help administer the artist in residence program. So it could just be helping to promote public art, and that artist could agree to be doing art on public art infrastructure as opposed to on private spaces and things, if it was through one of those venues as well. So it could be public in the sense that they would administer the artist in residence program, and they have funding for that from us. But then the artist would do art on public art infrastructure as directed by us in the public art inventory and what the commissioners select, if that makes sense. Or like look at proposals from that artist for public art infrastructure works. And I would be happy to like talk about how those things are like possible with Summer and you going into the future. So I could definitely see working with other organizations. I think that would have to be a part of it because I the amount that I know would not be nearly enough to even try to like, create an artist in residence program. So I completely agree with you on that. I don't have anything else. Uh, I guess I'll get the Google Doc out to everybody. And there's really nothing else on the agenda. Is there anything anyone else wanted to bring up since we actually have free time today and we've like had meetings and been reviewing stuff like for the past 6 months, I think?
Is there any updates on the traffic box for this year? Like when it's gonna come out and any updates on that?
I did ask for them to email me when they were going to do the first one. I was hoping it would have been like over break, but they take vacation too, so I couldn't be selfish. But they're going to email me when they get ready to do the first one, and I will let you guys know because I do want to be out there to document it and get a press release going out. So hopefully soon. They've confirmed everything. They also did all the tags with everyone's names and the year and the Akron Public Arts Commission, along with a QR code for our website. So I'm in the process of working with here in Akron to help me update our website when they have free time. So I'm trying to get that together. So hopefully I will have the website up to date within the next weeks or so. But yeah, pretty cool. It'd be on the left-hand side of all the boxes. So if you walk up to it, you can take your phone, scan the QR code. It takes you right to our page. And also I want to add the photos and information about the traffic signal boxes and the artists to our website also.
You put a photo of John going like this on the side of all the traffic boxes too, especially the Blue Heron one. Right there in downtown. I think it would be great. He's a public figure, so.
This part was approved by John.
Yeah.
You not.
All right. So, yeah, Jessica, do you have? Yep.
When it, I know, I felt like me and Summer had a conversation a while ago about collaborating with Akron Public Schools to get more children's like focus art out there. I'd like to see that added onto like on our calendar, see how we can collaborate with Akron Public Schools and get these students, involved in arts and creating something for us where they can be proud of it,
I would love that. I was in Lock 3 Summer Arts Experience for almost all the years it was up. I loved that program. So definitely.
I would like to get that program started back up. I don't know a lot about it, but I know a lot of good came out of it. And actually my little sister participated in the art piece on Perkins going down the hill right next to the Matthews Hotel. So she participated in that when she was young. So I mean, I could say her leadership on that. I know Courtney Cable was a part of it. And Susie Graham was one of the people that started it when she was here in the city.
Yeah, Susie
So
Graham
if we
reviewed
could
all of
work
our
with,
proposals. So we went to the city and Susie Graham actually like reviewed all of our murals for like everyone in the whole program. We actually presented as students to them. It was a very cool experience actually.
so that could be on the work plan too, maybe doing something like that in 2026.
Okay.
Because I know we have a work plan for 2025, but also let's think, you know, the next 2 to 3 years, what the commission would like to do. That way we have a plan. So then going into 2026, the administration could say, you know, oh, public arts would like to do the summer arts experience again and so forth. So they'll need money. So then when they're doing the capital investment, not only does the mayor's office, but also council can look into that too and, you know, give money to do something like that.
So just make sure, here's my advice, of course. Just make sure that whatever we do is truly attached to our purpose, which is about public art, right? Jessica, we can also get to your goal. Like for instance, another department could create the summer arts program or bring it back to life. Okay. Maybe it's done, maybe, you know, and the commissioners could be asked like, hey, will you serve as judges or will you, you know, something of that sort. So there might be another way of doing that. I just want to make sure we don't get into now creating programs that's not in our, you know, even though the product, the end product might be considered public art or shown publicly. But if we're going to start creating actual programming and things of that sort, that's not what we should be doing. I'm not against it. I just want to make sure that we also look at what other resources and or organizations, Megan, you brought up Soul Train, for instance, that we could be connecting to help us get to our mission as well.
Yeah. And I know Downtown Akron Partnership was heavily involved with the summer arts experience while it was up. And I think Susie Graham was at Downtown Akron
Right, and they
Partnership.
should have been because that's part of
Yes.
their mission
Yeah.
is the vibrancy of downtown, and that makes sense.
Yep. So I think it makes sense to involve a third party or department as well. But maybe we can be the ones who kickstart the conversation too. So it'd be interesting. Yeah.
I'll shut up now.
No, appreciate everyone's talking. It's great. Anytime anyone participates, you get a gold star. I have a giant chart back here with everyone's names on it, and I put a gold star up every time you talk.
Okay, I want a gold
counts.
star. No, I do want to chime in on the summer arts experience because I voiced that many times, and I think the last year they did it was 2015. Because last year I did it as a lead artist was 2014, and they said they were going to double it, and then it didn't exist. And I always tried to find out why, because it's such a gap filler for the next generation in all the ways. And public art has changed so much since they stopped doing it. But it's the next mural on Lock 3 could be someone that came up from that, because that's not the way we go about finding those artists. But we don't really have any set up to create them well.
Yeah.
And that was like the wet the palette version starting point, but it did a lot of that for everyone, from the lead artist to the teachers to everything. Huge loss when that went away, I thought.
I agree.
There was a new administration that stepped in 2016. So that's probably why it ended in 2015.
Yeah.
So moving forward, you know, I can ask those questions. But maybe I'll call for a meeting from people that leads and artists who participated to give me feedback on how the program worked well, why it didn't work well, and how can it improve if we were to bring it back to life in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I know if you were looking for people specifically, someone who was involved almost every year, who's a teacher at a local school, is Steve Shate. He was involved a lot of years with a lot of the students and a lot of the big mural projects that went on to the art infrastructure. So there were other lead artists who kind of rotated out year by year, but he was there, I think, for
and maybe
almost
we
the
can talk
summer
about
and
this
a bunch of
offline, like
projects.
you can send me
Okay,
like all that information.
sure.
Just, you know, yeah, for time's sake or anything like that, we can always talk more
Yeah.
about it offline.
Cool. Well, I feel like we got a good amount of discussion done to like start working on this work plan. Megan, do you have a last thing?
It can be, if we can like go, it's not about the commission. I just want to tell you guys something.
Okay.
Oh,
And congratulations to Megan. She just got married, guys.
yeah. Congratulations,
Congrats.
Megan.
Yes.
For pictures. He put a ring on it.
I do. Really.
So I want to talk about more about, I think I saw somewhere written about maybe doing traffic signal boxes again. I'm interested in kind of like thinking outside the box with that. What if there's a way where we can showcase the artist, like maybe via like a digital, what's it called? What's the board called outside? Billboard, like digital billboards and things like that. Maybe a faster, quicker way to get it done instead of like wrapping stuff. Maybe we can put something up temporary. Like even if like we had like a space at Akron art museum. Like if John, like they had a space there where if we feature an artist, whatever capacity the artist is in, like once a month, and that be dedicated to showing that work instead of us, like, because I feel like this took forever to get these boxes up, and I kind of don't want to like have to go through that again with those boxes. I want it like I said, we got these funding, like let's like use it and put it to work and like really get conversation started doing what we here for.
You're like me, you want things done quick and fast, but I'm
Yes.
learning that this stuff takes time because they have to digitize it. And some of the prints that I sent to them, they were like, oh, we can't use this format. So I had to create a different format. Then I had to talk to our IT to send it to an outside source, so we had to do a shared folder. So it was so much things that we had to create internally to send it out so that the pixels weren't pixelated and, the pictures, and then them confirming it. I mean, when I tell you Central Graphics divided the box up on all four sides and did each picture on all four sides, along with creating the name tag, so that all took time from their artists to do and their graphics team, and sending out proofs to approve and then sending out more proofs. Yeah, it was only 20, but that took time on their end to create all four sizes and chop up the pictures to make it look like the way it needed to look. I'm going to see if I can. So
I would also point out too.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're fine.
The mic's kind of going in and out from my computer audio. There's some process efficiencies you get when you do something more than once too. So I think on our side, if we wanted to redo something on infrastructure, I don't think it would take as long to request for them to do it, and I don't think it would take as long for them to be able to help us with it since they have more project experience with the images and kind of formats they're getting. So does Summer and people in the city, and so do us in like sending out like the requests or things that we're looking for. So it might not take as long the next time, even if there's more traffic boxes. Whereas if we start something new, we might find more inefficiencies related to starting something new too. So that's something to consider.
I get that too, but I'm thinking like if we like how she just broke it all down, that's a lot. Like if we can find something, we can do something faster and quicker, like a billboard. Billboards don't seem to take many organizations that do get them. Don't take much to just throw a picture up there. Like this whole measurement, and I feel like these boxes was super expensive, where we could have showcased more people if it wasn't so expensive.
So
I think we
digital
should write down.
billboards, just so everybody knows,
Forgot.
are super expensive.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
they're all
like
privately owned.
$1,500 just to put a picture on a billboard, if not more. So and that's 2 traffic signal boxes right there. So no, I understand what you're saying, and it would be a great idea. But like John said, those digital billboards, or what do you call those? St. V has one, like right on Market Street, where they, can put information up there. I
Yeah.
can't remember. Yeah, those are expensive. But can you guys see my screen?
I can. Yeah.
Okay, so this is one of the things that they sent me on how they broke it down. So they have this, they went out and they resized all of the boxes. So although I sent them the measurements, their team still went out there and measured every single box. So they have all the details of each box. This is just one, the photo. This is what the label looks like. And this is all 4 sides of the box. And then they had to cut it so that you can see how each side of the box will look. So yeah, it took time for, them to do each one, but they did it. Great.
Yeah, looks good.
I just have something slightly different. I'm wondering, I feel like I bring this kind of thing up a lot. I'm wondering if we can partner with like Curated Storefront. They already do, Jessica, like those digitalized storefronts all through downtown as part of something that they do as their organization. So I wonder if this is just like a chance for us to like not recreate the wheel, and we work with them as an arts organization, and we are an organization wanting to fuel public art specifically in downtown as much as we can, to revitalize and freshen it up, like whatever like all of the goals are. I think that's like something, I know that all of our things shouldn't be like partnering with other organizations or anything, but I think that's maybe just like an easier way to do it instead of buying a $1,500 billboard like every month.
Totally understand. I think that's a great idea.
We also want to get the community to do a little bit more also. I'm sorry, Jessica, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just agreeing. Go ahead.
We have so much stuff going on downtown. Yes, this is the center, but we have so many people invested in our community and residents that live in the neighborhood. And we need to, also invest more into the neighborhoods too, to brighten those neighborhoods up. There was some data stating that more art you have in neighborhoods, the less crime you have. Also, there was an organization that did art on houses that were like vacant homes. So before someone vandalizes the home, you can put boards up on the windows or kind of like within the windowsill and do art on those windows or on the door. And that will prevent people from going in and breaking into the houses and stealing, pipes or what have you. So art in the neighborhoods and on these abandoned houses, because we don't have tons of money to tear down the house. I think like one house to tear down is a couple thousands of dollars. So if we could kind of help with cleaning up the neighborhoods by putting art on houses, we could do that too.
I will say, so Habitat for Humanity of Summit County used to do the art board up program, specifically in Middlebury in University Park. Roberta knows. And something I think we did find out after years of that program is that it actually helped point out which houses were abandoned for them to be, I guess, like broken into. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's literally so lovely. Like it gets the community together to like come and paint like plywood to put on the windows and doors, and it is a really great art thing. But just the science behind that is that actually it kind of like does the opposite after a while. So but yeah.
Short term it works, but long term it doesn't.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah, Tampa does. I think it's Tampa that's really big into this. Yeah.
All right. Does anyone else have any other comments before we ask about our events and read public comments and adjourn? I'll take the deafening silence as a no. Does anyone have any art events to share that are coming up?
We have 2 openings this Saturday. One is Oliver Jeffers, who is a children's book author, and his drawings, which is going to be very well received. And the other one is William Richards, who is an abstract photographer. So both
Nice.
open on Saturday. And just so you know, any of you, just send me an email or what have you if you ever want passes to the museum. We're always free on Thursdays, by the way, but if you've got family that are coming in or something of that sort on a non-Thursday, let me know and I'll take care of you.
Sweet.
Thanks.
Glow, the neon show, is up until like February 5th. So if you've not seen that, it's been awesome. It's an awesome show.
Mhm.
Just don't touch the neon, please.
Aw, I'm just kidding.
Can't touch the light with my finger.
Who think they
Yeah,
can?
what the heck? All right. All right. Are there any public comments, Summer?
No public comments. No.
Right. Well, then, can we get a motion to adjourn the January 8th, 2025 Happy New Year Akron Public Art Commission meeting?
I motion to adjourn.
Megan DeLong motions to adjourn. Can we get a second?
Roberta Rogers seconds it.
Roberta Rogers seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Bye.
All right, so we have quorum. So we motion to adjourn the January 8th, 2025 Akron Public Art Commission meeting.
Well, good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Night.
Thanks, Megan.
Hold
We just
on.
have Ed Davis for the Interbelt community conversation today. It started at 5. It goes on until I think o'clock tonight.
Okay.
Can I ask everybody to stay on for like 2 seconds so I can get a selfie of us?
Oh, for Everyday Akron? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right, John, do your patented.
Me-
Or we should all do John's.
Oh, is that what I do? I don't know I do that.
I have no.
You,
Yeah,
you
I
do
don't know.
you do the thumbs up. I've seen the thumbs up.
Wow, you guys are following my every move.
All right, everybody, thumbs up for John. Aw, cuties. Thank you, guys.